This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal. Today is Monday, June 16th, 2025. The title of this rant is Trump's Racism is Causing Millions of Our Sister and Brother Immigrant Friends Unending Anguish and Desperation. And when I say desperation, I truly, truly mean desperation. So if we look back, it's just a couple of months, how much this has affected up to 11 to 15 million of our sisters and brothers who are living in the United States. Of course, in the campaign, all he basically talked about was deporting illegal immigrants, illegal criminal immigrants, I should just say. And then all of a sudden he gets in and he's taking brown people off the streets. They're just pulled off the streets. They're put in jail. They're sent to foreign countries. They don't get due process. And we have no idea what they were being charged with, etc. We have video of ICE who's going out. We have a video of chasing down someone at a farm, in the agriculture, and just chasing them down, putting them in cuffs as they're working on the harvest, let's just say. We have them going to construction sites. We see them in construction sites, fanning out, grabbing people at restaurants, etc. And these are people who are working. They're not criminals. They're working. They're working to make a dollar. They're working in industries that we're not providing the people for. Or the people, let's just use the term, white people aren't interested in those jobs. And it doesn't make any difference what business it's in. And then some of these businesses, like the agriculture and landscaping business, they take up more than 40% of the population of that industry itself. And then we have video of white men, and some of them are actually crying. They're crying because they have a landscaping business, they have a home improvement business, because they loved their workers and they cherished them. And guess what? They were pulled. They were maybe they were illegal, but they hadn't committed any crimes. They were pulled off the streets. They were pulled right from their job. They were sent back to their country. This white guy's here crying. He's going, I voted for Trump. I didn't vote for this. Well, Trump said he was going to do it, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have empathy for them, because we didn't, on our side, emphasize enough how radical his views were and how much he wanted to inflict pain on our sisters and brothers who are not white, let's just say. And then all of a sudden, after the Secretary of Agriculture talks to Trump, he goes, "Oh, well, we're going to find relief for these people. We're not going to do this anymore. We're going to find a way to make all this right." And that was like right before his dastardly parade. And then all of a sudden, he comes back and he says, "Hey, man, we're going to get rid of all of you. We're going to get rid of all of you, especially those who are in," I don't mean to laugh, but are in sanctuary cities, meaning the big cities. And he spelled them out: Chicago, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C. Basically, so he wants to punish them, and he blames it all on Democrats. Now, a lot of this is a smokescreen, because he isn't doing so well on his parade. He isn't doing so well on deportation. Inflation may be going up very soon, as we see there's going to be shortages, especially in these industries, and still the tariffs are in place. As I said, inflation is because of scarcity. And, here's the other thing. We're short of jobs all over this country. We're 100K or more short of truckers, of airline pilots. What was the other one? We're several 100,000 short in manufacturing jobs. We don't have the people to do it. There's not enough white people to take these jobs. There is not. And guess what? That's why, and this has been something that's been going on for well over 100 years. That's why they're coming to this country, is because the jobs are here. We're willing to pay them at a rate that they're willing to accept, even though it isn't enough. But white people aren't willing to do these jobs, and so these are things that, hey, these are not going to be fulfilled as more and more of these people are deported. There's going to be, and of course, again, this distraction is because he's not doing so well in other areas, not doing well in Ukraine. That's still going on. Gaza's still going on. Iran's going on. War's breaking out all over. He doesn't have any answers. He's not helping. He's not helping Ukraine. Um, it, it's kind of like he's using this as a smokescreen to get all of this stuff out. So I'm saying to my sisters and brothers, my white sisters and brothers, we need our immigrant friends. We need them to be here. We need to make a path to citizenship for them. All of this stuff about these crazy illegals, these criminal illegals. Yes, there are some. There's far fewer of them than there are of the white criminals out there. And we need them. We need them desperately. And it's just a small portion of this administration, of these sycophants, who basically want us to be a white nation again. And that's not going to happen. America is better off with them, and we will be worse off without them.